Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. It's that time of the week. It is time for another midweek market update where we look at the Pokemon market and see what is hot. So sit back, relax, and welcome to PokeMarketLab. All right, with that, let's get into it. We're looking at Shrouded Fable first. I've talked about Shrouded Fable before. It's an okay set. It's a C set, right? I think that's fair. It was oversold for a long period of time. The price was depressed. These were about 33 bucks recently. So these have shot up a little bit to about $50 here. But what you really should be doing instead of paying the 50 is actually pay more and pay the 60 bucks, but get the Pokemon Center Elite Trainer box. So this has the specialty stamped promo, and that's, I believe, a Pecharunt, if I'm saying that correctly. Is the stamp promo. So not a bad one, not great, but not bad. But you're getting exposure to Shrouded Fable, and you're getting the stamp promo in there. And we know what happens to these Pokemon Center versions of Elite Trainer boxes. They tend to do pretty well over time from the Scarlet and Violet era because of the stamped promo in there. So if you're going to spend 50 bucks on ETB, spend a few bucks more, get a couple of these. These will sell out eventually on on the Pokemon Center website. So this is the play here if you're going to spend 50 bucks. Again, it's an okay set. But to me, cast that wide, thin net, that, diversification of sets, not a set you certainly go in and go crazy on, but I would be remiss, I would be disappointed to not have any exposure to this in the future. Paldean Fates. The reason I bring this up, this box is sitting, the ETB is sitting kind of a little stagnant at this point, which is fine. I'm bringing this up to kind of point out that you should have exposure to Paldean Fates, but the tough part right now is this is absolutely a reprint risk, probably one of the higher reprint risks of Scarlet and Violet, just because it's not old at this point. It doesn't have a ton of age on it at all. As you know, the Bubble Mew in this set is now pushing 400. It's over. Actually, the market price on this is over $400. So it's just a monster of a specialty set. Really try if you can't, $100 is a little rich for you for an ETB. There's some tins and some other ways of getting packs. Again, have some exposure to this stuff. This is absolutely a reprint risk. The question is, we really don't know how the Pokemon Company is going to do reprints and how much of them they're going to do. So I think if it weren't for that, I think if this was older, this would probably run a little bit higher, just because of the solid, just so many good. You have the Bubble Mew, you have one of the best Charizard in all of Scarlet and Violet. So just great set. So just maybe hold on and see if we get some reprints. But I think with the market the way it is, and the fact that we're unlikely to get a massive reprint of this set, any pullback in pricing in this thing's probably the market's going to eat it up. So. All right, Prismatic Evolutions Elite Trainer box. A little bit of a bounce off the low. It pushed right up against 100 bucks, bounced up a little bit. We're seeing a ton of retail arbitrage in here. And what that means is people are picking up ETBs at Walmart, at Target, anywhere they can find them for retail still. And they're turning around and trying to sell them online. So there's over 3,000 of these listed on TCG Player. Sell volume is certainly slowing down here. So now we're under 200 a day. We'll see what happens. I think it needs to get below this $100 mark, and if it does, it breaks through that psychological barrier. And I think that signals to people, hey, maybe it's time to start picking some up again. But we're really, hopefully, we get some more news here soon on reprints. And then the question, of course, with reprints, right? What's going to happen from distribution with reprints? Are they going to jack the price up? And if they do, does that mean does the market, can the market handle additional waves of prismatic supply coming to market at an expensive price? Something's going to have to give there at some point. We're just not seeing the volume still decent, but we're seeing the 3,000 boxes sitting here on TCG Players a lot. And at some point, people are going to be fighting for prices from a selling standpoint to push this cost down. So we'll see what happens. Everyone's waiting with bated breath on the reprints. Stellar Crown, just quick update here. This one's kind of stabilizing a little bit. 114 boxes listed, market price of $164. I think that's right in line. That's right up against that MSRP price. I think that makes a ton of sense. So definitely a reprint risk. This is not very old at all. It's less than a year old, I think, at this point, right? I think we're right at a year old. Actually, yeah, we're less than a year old. So really good, solid B- set. Definitely have some exposure to this. Silver Tempest kind of stabilizing here in the last month, ran up pretty hot. This is probably an appropriate price, I think, compared to the other sets in Sword and Shield. I think this is an appropriate price for this product. So again, make sure you have some exposure, but yeah, I think this is stabilizing, and we've kind of seen a lot of leveling off happen in Sword and Shield just because a ton of money pumped into it. Everything's kind of stabilizing. And then onto Fusion Strike. So the ETBs, what's happening now in Sword and Shield is a lot of the regular ETBs, not even the Pokemon Center ones from Sword and Shield, are increasing or are stepping up in price pretty significantly here. And the reason for that, and we're seeing some decent volume too. The reason for that is really you can get some exposure to some of these sets without paying some of these monster booster box prices in Sword and Shield. So of the four horsemen in Sword and Shield. So, obviously Evolving Skies, a lot of people are priced out there, but Lost Origin, Fusion Strike, Chilling Reign, even, Brilliant Stars, these booster boxes are minimum $300 for any of those boxes right now. So, it's especially with Fusion Strike pushing, I think they're over $400 a box. So an ETB is, they're starting to become rare. You get some exposure to the set, but you can get, for the price of one Fusion Strike booster box, you could pick up exposure via ETBs on some of these other sets combined, right? So, they're getting old. People want to get a little exposure for a little bit cheaper. So that's what's happening here. And these are disappearing. So, and to that point, what I would suggest, let's actually just talk real quick. Gengar, I was just shocked to see the price of this card. It is a beautiful card, but that is, so I guess I'm just thinking about this now. Is this the second most expensive card in Sword and Shield behind Moonbryon, or is there anything else? I have to look into that. But phenomenal card, beautiful card. I would rather, if I could afford it, I'd rather have one of these versus the Moonbryon. I just think it's better art. Fantastic card, sitting right at $730 here for your almost 700, actually lower listing, about $700 lowest listing here on TCG Player. So back to the ETB thing here. So definitely, I think outside of some, things like Fusion Strike and Evolving Skies, I think there's definitely a play here. If you're looking to get some exposure, I think it does make sense to start looking at some of the ETBs from Sword and Shield if you missed out on booster boxes. Again, these are going quickly. We have seen some reprints, I think. The amount of Lost Origin we've seen come through Target recently, I think it was a reprint, which I think is fine. The market's just absorbing them. It's eating them all day. It doesn't matter. And I think, I think any of these prices here, Lost Origin, we can look at Brilliant Stars, I think is a great pickup at only $46 for the CTB. So right at that, what we would consider, MSRP normal pricing. And there's less than 100 of these listed on TCG Player. So these are going to go quick. Volume is starting to pick up here. You can see, because the market's really, look at this volume increase here for Brilliant Stars. This is just FOMO setting in now on some of these sets where, again, booster box is expensive. Get in at the ETB level and you're getting some exposure. Again, you can pick up multiple of these boxes for the price of one of the four horsemen from Sword and Shield. So Chilling Reign, another one, a little bit more expensive. This is wild to me. This is a $74 ETB, which, it's expensive for an ETB. There's less than 20 of these listed on TCG Player. Like, this is a buy. This is a go out and get it now. Get some exposure to Chilling Reign. Again, one of the four horsemen in Sword and Shield. Astral Radiance, $60. Less than 75 of these on TCG Player. Sell volumes going through the roof because people are gobbling it up while they can. So the fact that it's still only 60, again, just make sure you have some exposure to these sets. Vivid Voltage. If you're gonna do Vivid Voltage, I'd pick up something like Astral Radiance or even Brilliant Stars versus paying 70 for Vivid Voltage. Still quite a few available on TCG Player. Not my favorite set from Sword and Shield, but to each their own. And that's really it for this week's midweek market update. Market's still hot. I think we have to have another video kind of talking about the market and where it's going to go. Again, I think the market as a whole, just to kind of recap where it's at from a 50,000 height view here, high level view. Market's waiting for Prismatic. What's going to happen on reprints from Prismatic? I think, I've talked about this before. I think there's a little bit of concern about, personally, some concern about, is Prismatic getting in the hands of people, of the people who matter in terms of you know, the end user, the customer who's going to open product and fall in love with product and buy product again down the road. We have Journey Together, I think, is still holding solid at about $200 a booster box. I think, again, the question is, are people waiting? Is the money waiting for more Prismatic to come to market? Is the money waiting for Team Rocket? Is the final vote from a price standpoint on Journey Together in? Again, I think it's a B- set if I were to rate it. It's okay. It's not Prismatic hype, but I think a lot of money is going to be waiting in the wings for Team Rocket to get any. I mean, pre-orders. You're at 100% going to see. I'll call it now. Let's say $400 booster boxes. If we saw Journey Together booster boxes start selling on eBay right when pre-orders started coming out for $300 a box, I could absolutely see Team Rocket go for $400 a box. So we'll see. Hopefully we should be. So I believe Team Rocket, we should start getting previews end of February, early March, I think. So we'll see. That's it for today's midweek market update. Let me know what you think in the comments below. If you like what you're doing, please like and subscribe, and we will see you on the next one.